Okay, folks, I'm already kind of cracking up because, well, this is a donation request. Carolina's Beauty requested that I do Puff the Magic Dragon by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And this song is one of those ones that I grew up listening to, and as a kid, just assumed that it was just a fun song about a dragon. And then I got a little older, and then there was speculation that this was about drug use, whether it was marijuana, it was the most common one, or acid, or whatever, drugs were prevalent at the time. And from my understanding, this song is based on a poem that the songwriter discovered this poem and decided to write a song about childhood innocence. The original writer of the poem, as well as the songwriter who adapted it, I forget the name, but both of them have denied categorically across the decades that this had anything to do with drug use. It's just about the loss of childhood innocence, where, when you grow up, you kind of lose your fear of the boogie monsters living under the bed and all this kind of stuff. And this kid evidently had an imaginary dragon who lived by the sea, and his name was Puff. But of course, you hear Puff and you think, oh, that could be drug use and magic dragons. Like, I think chasing the dragon is a thing that, I think heroin users, or I don't know, you see this stuff in movies and you try to make the connections. You hope that they're right, but that this was supposedly about some kind of drug use, and the authors have said no. So I'm gonna review this song because I've heard it many times in my life, not as an adult, but I'm gonna review this with the original author's intent, with them saying that this is just about childhood innocence. Maybe lost, but you grow up and you stop believing in dragons for the most part. Carolina's Beauty, thank you for the donation and the request. And you have another one coming up, Zac Brown's Colder Weather. And this is like a folk song, and I'm okay with folk on the channel. It's tradition, it's non-pop country or similar type music, bluegrass, western, Texas swing, this kind of thing. And folk definitely fits that to me. Oh, I have a video. Oh, it's an old one. Of course. I remember this. Well, Mary was hot.
Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea. Sing it with us. And frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A little louder. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Yeah.
In a land, when I was a kid, I couldn't make out half the words. Now with the headphones, it's like in a land called Honolulu. I think as a kid, I might have been thinking they were saying like Honolulu or something like that. Yeah, the audience, they're just sort of, I can't even tell what the audience is thinking based on the still shot where I froze it.
Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail, and Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Sing it now. The magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
They, I don't know what happened to this audience, but they didn't prep them that they were going to be on camera forever. Like, oh, this one girl's got a smile. The other ones are like, what is this?
Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more, and Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon.
Maybe he lived under the monster stairs.
And frolic in the autumn.
That was Spot.
In a land called Honolulu, the last time now, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
That's really quite an artistic song. It's very creative. Yeah, when you're a kid, you don't think creativity. You just hear the melody, and if you manage to figure out some of the words, you sing those when you're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. But it was like a sad song, but it's a true song. But it's a very interesting take to where he took it from the dragon side toward the end. In the beginning, it was, what was the kid's name? Jackie Paper, I think. And then in the end, it was like, well, the Puff didn't have his friend to play with any longer, so he just went back and lived in his cave. An interesting twist on that, interesting take creatively on behalf of the original poem writer. I don't know if any of the lyrics were changed for the song later, but to say he went back in his cave instead of saying, well, Jackie grew up and started playing sports or whatever, and he just forgot all about Puff, and Puff no longer existed. It's like he sadly went back in the cave. And but then, of course, I thought about the Munsters, and the Munsters had a dragon. No, it wasn't the Addams Family. It was the Munsters. The Munsters, right? The Munsters had Spot, the dragon who lived under their stairs. And see, the Addams Family had Hands, the thing that got the mail, but and Uncle Fester, who did the light bulbs. Gosh, Carolina's Beauty, what a fascinating request. I mean, it's a children's song. That much I could see is obvious, even by the end, where if this was a drug-related song, you wouldn't want to kill the buzz by saying that the thing went back in his cave and no longer existed. You'd want to continue the buzz in some way. I don't know how you'd do it. But in this one, it was just about child innocence. Do you say lost? I don't think you say lost. It's just really about growing up. I mean, in this song, even he said he exchanged toys. You know, he went on to other toys. This one was like with string and something else, and then he went on to other toys, and then his creativity took him into some other realm. You know, back then, I guess you didn't have helicopter parents directing your every move. And so you went off in imagination land, and you had to. And you'd go play with your friends, and you might only have a cinder block and a rock and a stick, and you'd make a game out of that. And the creative mind is just this brilliant, wonderful, unbridled thing that you just have to let that be. And in this case, the kid did. He did. Jackie did. But then he moved on to other things. So, oh, Carolina's Beauty. You asked me to rate this. How do I rate such an iconic song? Oh, this is a challenge. Because this is one absolutely from my childhood. So how do I rate that like as an adult? I'll go by feel. The audience was like a dead weight to me, but it might have been the setup of this whole thing. They didn't have the lyrics. Maybe it was reasonably new or very new, and the audience didn't know the lyrics, so they were just trying to figure it out. But there were only a couple of folks who looked like they were smiling at all, and the rest just looked like deadpan. But all right, that's an enthralling, captivating song. The number that popped into my head was a 9.2. It's one of those songs that you have to listen to when it comes on. It's almost like sacrilege. Maybe that's the way it is for anybody who grew up with a song that you liked as a kid. When you get older, it feels like sacrilege, no matter what the song is. If it meant something to you as a kid, it feels like sacrilege to turn it off. But it's just one of those songs that whenever I hear it, I just want to keep just sort of like singing the chorus, even if I forget some of the words, which I do. So there it is. Okay, Carolina's Beauty, thank you for that. That's going in the playlist of songs of 9 and above. And what a trip down memory lane. So thank you for that. Okay, folks, there you go. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Leave your comments for Carolina's Beauty. She paid for this, and I did it. So there you go. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.